Hello everyone, I all hope you have a very quite of a blessed day and a very quite of a blessed, great morning indeed, and also afternoon of a blessed morning afternoon as well. As you can see, guys, today's weather is quietly still so superly beautiful and also quietly amazing, but it's quietly windy and also very quietly cold. So quietly just warm and also stay warm as well. The reason I actually took off my jerseys and everything else is because I wanted to actually show you guys that I'm actually wearing a white t-shirt, just a new t-shirt as well, just a very quietly new t-shirt as well. But either way, guys, I'm very quietly, superly grateful for you guys' support and very quietly grateful for it, especially from shorts and from long videos in YouTube, and especially from you guys from TikTok and from those of you who are also quietly subscribing in YouTube. It quietly means a lot to me. Very grateful for you guys and staying with me on my journey, and please continue to do so. Like and subscribe in Below Yours channel in YouTube and in TikTok as well would quietly would gravely mean a lot to me as well. But regardless of that, guys, enjoy your day and enjoy your blessed weekend. Tomorrow we're doing the last episode on Friday, so yeah, and that's it after that. And I'll see you next week Monday. So on today's episode, to speak about Ron Orion, who is a leader and a founder, who is the legendary leader and who is a legendary founder and the leader of the Orion clan that he's been ruling over for the past few centuries, and that he was able to go in great conflict against the Eclipse clan founding leader, against the Eclipse clan founder and against the legendary founder and leader of the Eclipse clan known as Infinita Eclipse. Together they had two opposite dreams and two opposite goals. Ron Orion was quietly motivated by his own goal, while Infinita was also quietly motivated by a great goal of her own, to which the both of them exactly decided it's best to end the forbidden love of each other in order to protect their respective clans, since their clans are quietly and respectively in war with each other until one moment within the appearing century, when Bob Destiny from the Destiny clan appeared in the middle of the two greatest, most powerful, strongest, and deadliest clan in the middle of them, and he took the burden to stopping Infinita once and for all. The great legendary statues are at the great mysterious waterfall itself, which tell a very powerful different story. While the ancient middle statue of the leader and founder of the Destiny clan is in the middle of the great waterfall, while the two legendary statues of the great founder and leader of the Eclipse Sons Infinita is on this side of the waterfall, while the other one is the legendary founder and leader of Ron Orion, which tells a very powerful forbidden story about their goals and about their dreams, which Ron Orion wanted the unification dream goal to embody the entire sacred universe and the rest of the sacred society, in order to making sure that all the clans and all the great respective clans and nation will be totally be united through his unificational blood desire for peace. And by doing so, he actually utilized deadly force and deadly traumatic firepower in the wake of this event, to try to complete the all-knowing goal in the process. Regardless of that, Bob Destiny was very quietly eager to stopping the two most devastating, powerful clans, one that comes from the Mixel universe, the other from the Sacred universe, which he actually put himself in the two front lines of the two legendary founders that actually went into war with each other, which he persistently understood their story. He actually understood their story and their true trajectivity and their great perspectivity as well. But regardless of that, he cannot exactly allow the darkness. He cannot exactly allow the darkest goals and dreams to bear fruit, realizing that the goal itself was quietly compromised by a bloody, thirsty desire fueled by darkness and contemptible, forbidden power and forbidden dark energy, to which Bob Destiny decided it's best to fight the other legendary founder, and also to stopping Ron Orion from seizing power in a process as well, to which Ron Orion was very willing to go to extreme measures to making sure that his goal would be solidified and that it would also be facilitated to bearing fruit by any means necessary. So let's get on to it. In Ron Orion's childhood life, in his great earlier childhood life, within the great earlier centuries before the actual time of the age of the original Lord of Magic, who was quietly able to be known throughout the entire sacred magic universe and the entire sacred existence of sacred society, where he actually ruled and controlled the Shadow Empire, using its resources for his own destructive imaginations before his actual age actually began taking over. Within that, before that age actually appeared, Ron O'Ryan was quietly young and very, very quietly brave, very, very quietly brave, and very, very quietly adamant. He was also one of the most older siblings of his brothers, which he quietly had about which he actually quite had about four, actually about four brothers and one sister and one great sisters, to which Ron O'Ryan took great pleasures to protecting them and also training them in combat and great power on how to utilize their abilities and the great forbidden techniques of the Orion clan. At the Pacifical Age, the great mother was quietly wounded and killed during the great sacred magical wars that rained down an entire sacred magic universe, to which the other forces of evil were trying to enter the entire sacred magical villages, kingdoms, in order to begin their sole purpose and goal in laying waste and in laying utter destruction and damnation, for them to begin their sole dominance of sole control over magic society in the process in the process of their goals as well. During that period of time, Ron O'Ryan exactly took great pleasures and meant to protecting his siblings and his brothers and sisters to men to extreme measures, so that they can able to protecting themselves and also giving themselves a guarantee of their abilities and unknown strange techniques of how to fight, utilizing the power of fire techniques and the power of lightning techniques and the great power of water techniques and the great power of manipulating air and wind techniques at will, and also the great power of casting illusions, to which he entrusts them with those techniques, to which they can exactly utilize their own as well. Within the actual Pacific age of the age of five, Ron O'Ryan exactly met up with Infinita. Ron O'Ryan exactly met up with Infinita near to the great river waterfall, to where the both of them were exactly quietly conflicted over their great dreams of combining their great dreams all together in trying to reunite them. And over time, they actually grew close to one another, very much quietly closer to one another as time exactly grew on, as well. On the age of 13, Ron O'Ryan discovered that he lost all of his brothers except for one brother, and he lost all of his brother, and that his sister completely died throughout the great sacred, throughout the great knowledge war, throughout the great ancient knowledge war, to where this knowledge war took place within the middle century, known by the ancient creatures as the Module Bees. The Module Bees are very powerful, sinister creatures and monsters that don't come specifically from the dark dimension. They don't actually come from the dark dimension. They never actually war from the dark dimension. They come from within. They come from within destroyed planets and star systems, which they've never been. The star system, the actual star systems of those worlds have been ravaged by nothing but complete dust and storms and sands, which are perfectly sand worlds which are perfectly sand worlds and planets that have completely been ravaged by earlier ancient sinister conflicts of wars, which created new species and deadly creatures due to the great potential of the evolution, due to the great potential of the evolution of the bloodline of the ancient creatures of the sacred universe that began secretly highly evolving to a very, very higher, greater stage than ever before, making a bloodline very, very, very parallel and so very much powerful and very, very powerful, and also very quietly transfiguring to its true stage of its great genetic genosis, which alters its great cryo physiology in the process as well. Despite that, Ron O'Ryan quietly felt very, very guilty that he lost his brothers and his sisters throughout the Great Wars, and he decided it's best to keep a close eye to the one relative that he actually had in order to guide him and training him as well at that Pacifical time. Within that Pacifical time, he was able to meet up in Infinita again on the very, very same river, to which the both of them exactly able to tell each other about their dreams until their siblings exactly clashed with each other. And Infinita quietly made her intentions very clearly that she'll be backing down from their goals and from their personal dreams once and for all, in order to protecting her siblings and the rest of her clansmen, until her inner energy power began showing a very destructive spiritual energy of dark power that was never quietly seen or demonstrated before, to which Ron Orion felt highly terrified at the time, and he also decided to demonstrate his own forbidden power and great ferocity, to which also activated his great power in the very same process as well, to which he also became powerful and in order to evening up the odds as well. Within the following centuries, Infinita and Ron Orion completely waged war with each other during the sacred world warring states at the time, to where the great Eclipse clan and to where the great Orion clan were completely in conflict with one another. The Phoenician hunters and the Origins exactly knew that the situation between the two clans was quite beyond their control, since they cannot control the legendary founding leaders of their respective clan, because one comes from the Mixel universe, the other one comes from the Mixel universe, which the rules from the Mixel and which the laws and rules and the great ancient traditions of the Mixel universe are far different to the great traditions of the sacred, are far different from the sacred universe's traditions as well, due to its set of own ancient laws and rules. That the sacred universe has its own ancient laws and rules as well in the process of that. Regardless of that, they knew that they could not exactly intervene until they found the proper moment in order for them to intervene, which is why they actually decided to dispatch Bob Destiny in order to taking care of the great powerful clans before they can create an all-out war that could spiral out of control, which Bob Destiny obliged in order to taking care of the threats before they can fully rise to power, and stopping them and stalling them before they can actually begin consuming everything within its path at that particular time as well. Over the following centuries, Infinita continued to still waging war. During the great war battle, Ron Orion's brother was able to mysteriously kill both of Infinita's siblings, both of great Infinita's siblings, and to which he also had a great sibling also watching his back. And Infinita quietly and Ron Orion tried to show Infinita the right way to gain peace in a very different perspective way of the unification goal, and also the goal that she was also trying to exactly rebuild. But Infinita quietly refused as well. Within the middle century of the Sacred Warring States period, Infinita exactly thought that it's best to try one last time in order to exactly to try to assuming control over the entire sacred universe and over the entire sacred clans of sacred society, in order for her people to be having sole dominant control over what comes next to their far futures as well at that predicament of that time as well, to which her siblings entrusted them with their powers and with a set of skills, to which made Infinita very strong and very deadly as well at that predicament time. Ron Orion quietly predicted to his brother that Infinita will become more powerful and very quietly highly deadly if she does not surrender with full force, which will make her very powerful and very lethal as well, since she respects power and she respects the ferocity that comes along with it. His brother exactly told Ron Orion that they'll be making a big mistake in trying to actually forgive Infinita for the great missteps that she took over the following centuries, and Ron Orion trying to reason with his brother that because was not exactly Infinita's choice in the very first place, for her to take a difficult choice in a very greater positioning, to which she was quietly forced in order to choose between the siblings of her family and the great love of her life, to which Ron Orion exactly tried to exactly plead with his brother that they must find a way in order to end the eternal blood feud between the great two clans. Otherwise, there'll be no sacred futures between the two universes that they're trying to actually make to coexist all together as one. On the other middle centuries of the days, Infinita and the rest of the other followers of the Eclipse clan arrived within the great sacred rocky forest to meet up with the Orion clan representative, to where Orion, the leader, was quietly also leading them, and the brother of Ron Orion was quietly right by side by Ron. Ron Orion tried to plead with Infinita for the one last time in order to exactly accepting the peace terms and the conditions for the clans to solely exist. Without a word being said, Infinita revealed her true, devastating, infinite, darkest power by summoning an ancient creature of wooden power, which was quietly a giant unknown creature within the forest, which subconsciously exactly remerged from the top of it, demonstrating her full potential, and her power has grown. Despite that, Ron Orion exactly thought that it's best to even up the odds in order to summon a powerful, gigantic monster and creature in order to fighting up against Infinita as well, to which the both of them exactly fought to great exhaustion until Infinita was heavily defeated and her creature was unsummoned and it completely disappeared, and so did the monstrous creature that Ron Orion also summoned as well, to which Ron Orion exactly appeared from Infinita again, asking her to surrender with full precautionary for peace for both of their clans. Infinita gratefully accepted the serenity of surrender, and so did the other members of the Eclipse clan as well. Over the following centuries, the Eclipse clan and Orion exactly grew powerful relations together as they were able to find common ground with a common peace, and that the great founding legendary leaders were able to find a common ground with a sole eternal goal as well. And so did the members of the Destiny clan, who were able to come in order to making sure that the relations between the two clans was quietly highly good and very quietly highly immobile, to where the Four Nation Hunters in the Origins also quietly took measures to step in before the situation can quietly escalate to far worse, before it can actually escalate to far worse wars or to far worse sacred civil wars between the Mixed universe and between the sacred universe itself as well. Over time, Ron Orion exactly approached the great consuls of the White Council and the Great Formation Hunter and the Great Formation Hunter elders on the ancient White Shrine Chamber, which houses ancient, powerful white statues of ancient creatures and beings and their ancient predecessors, with some were the most powerful white, with some others were quite the powerful dragon statues, and others were called the monster statues. Some were the other ancestors and were the other ancestors of the Ryan clan and the Four Nation Hunter ancestors, the Druid, the Witches, the Faithful, the Dark Sister, the unknown leaders and the unknown forces that which they never exactly knew about them, which they all statues were quietly scattered within the ancient chambers. Some were completely around the chamber, the others of them were completely in the middle of the chamber, which left a huge, powerful purple glyph of a symbol symbolizing great totemary respect of the sacred universe's utter peace and remnant of its true unification of great love and great compassion along with it as well. During at that particular time, Ron Orion exactly pleaded to the clan that the rest of relates to the Great Council, that the Orion clan and the Eclipse clan do share great relations and all of that as well, to which they do exactly have to agree on a common ground. The members of the other councils agreed that they will have to select a member of the Orion clan to become the leading member of the great sacred village, to which they will actually build and rebuild and try to actually rebuild in its great unificational stand. To where Infinita quietly also realized that this would be the first step dominance of the entire Orion clan taking control of the entire sacred universe, to which it could result in threatening the future of her fellow people and also of her fellow kind as well, in the process, to which she cannot exactly allow happen, to which Ron Orion began to witness that, to which Ron Orion began to exactly see the great sight of Infinita, realizing that the first step of a future's people is now about to be taken a directive turn to resulting in an all-out war as well. Within that particular day of that middle century, Infinita exactly took Ron Orion to the ancient shrine, to the ancient great shrine, to where it was a powerful forbidden hideout of the Eclipse clan, which quietly resided inside the sacred universe, which quietly actually resided within the entire sacred universe, where the actual shrine of the hideout of it was quietly within the great walls of the great villages, to where she decided to take Ron Orion on the great shrine itself, to where there was a great fire and ancient powerful markings of an ancient powerful markings and an ancient painting of the ancient great founder of the ancient great Mixel founder of the universe, who was trying to recreate and rebuild the entire Mixel universe under one purposeful goal, to where Infinita explained this goal to Ron Orion due to her deciphering the ancient text and the ancient information, due to her energy power and due to her respective sight of vision, to where she can see clearly about the ancient words and the ancient languages described in the ancient paintings and on the ancient wall itself, and especially on the ancient tome and on the ancient totem itself as well, to where she was able to explain the whole reasoning why the ancient founder of the Mixel universe and this ancient creature that's quietly in the middle of all of that, that's quietly in the middle of all of the entire painting itself, that he was trying to actually embody the powerful dream that he was trying to build of the entire unification goal of reuniting and trying to recombine and re-submerge all the great worlds and universes all together. But he had to create a powerful being that was quite capable of doing that all by casting an infinite dark reality of a great reality of a great purple fantasy reality of a world that is quietly built up in new ways where there's no wars, no conflict, no famine, no poverty, not even a scent of any of that, where reality was that sacred universe and the mixed universe all literally coexisted together as one. Rowan O'Ryan quietly purposely agreed with Infinity's tension and exactly told her that a type of dream like this would be quietly too a type of dream like this would be quietly too a type of dream like this would be quietly too dark and too deadly, since the great Phoenician hunters and the great ones white council will not exactly accept a proposition like this. Either way, Infinita exactly started telling Rowan O'Ryan that she's completely defecting from the great dream that they exactly stood against one another, and that she has no interest in it after all. Realizing that Infinita is quietly taking a dark turn, is quietly beginning to descend into darkness very slowly and very quickly, Rowan O'Ryan decided it's best to speed up a sinister process that he's been planning and preparing for his own sinister activities as well. Over the following centuries, since Infinita quietly defected from the great sacred village, Rowan O'Ryan was able to secretly meet up with Bob Destiny on his great shrine, on his great ancient shrine, on his great ancient temple of a shrine, which was quietly in the middle of the entire, which was quietly in the actual middle section, which was quietly in the middle section of the great village of the great clan village known as the clan of Destiny's village as well, to where it had ancient statues of creatures, monsters, and unknown clan members, and the children of prophecy, known better as the children of Destiny's statues, were also quietly big, that described their fellow descendants and their power and their great own. And also this temple also possessed a different same ancient text and an ancient painting about the children of destiny, how one descended into darkness and how the other lost his way and how the other remained to the light path due to the others being corrupted and due to the others being compromised by their thirst for power and by their thirst for more control and more power as well. Bob Destiny quietly agreed with Ron O'Ryan that if Infinita is about to return with a new devastating power in order for her to take in control of everything else, it means that he has to go to war with her in order to stopping her goals and her dreams before they can successfully bear fruit by any means necessary. To where Ron completely agreed with Bob that he will be able to fight up against Infinita, since he won't be able to have the heart or the intent to killing his great lover, since he won't be able to do that himself, since he previously fought up against her, and the both of them are quietly and evenly matched at the very least of the point. Bob Destiny quietly agreed with Ron O'Ryan that he'll do all he can to fight up against Infinita and exactly stopping her before her goals can successfully bear fruit. But Bob Destiny exactly told Ron O'Ryan to never exactly repeat the same ancient mistakes as Infinita is trying to repeat, to where Ron O'Ryan began ensuring Bob Destiny that he would definitely not as well. During that particular same ancient century, to where Bob Destiny and Infinita were quietly clashing each other on the ravaged sector where there are dead villages and planets, and all the way Infinita brought her most powerful forbidden weapon. Ron O'Ryan began his orchestration at that particular time, to where he sat beneath the ancient ruins, and drawings, trying to decipher as much of the infinite knowledge that he was actually trying to obtain, and also trying to reacquire as well. At that same time, one of his forces exactly related to him that Infinita has hereby died and has completely passed away, which means that Ron O'Ryan realized that his time is quietly running up and that he must speed up his plan once and for all as well. Within the other century, Ron O'Ryan exactly defected from the Orion clan and from the Destiny clan to beginning his sole preparation of war and conflict against both the Phoenician hunters and against both the White Council as well, to which he returned with also a forbidden power and a forbidden energy, demonstrating how powerful he has become. Bob Destiny realizes that he also has to clash he also has to fight his greatest childhood best friend, and also has to confront him one way or the other, to which they both of them exactly fought to exhaustion. Ron Orion exactly planted ahead about his death, and he knew that he was about to die. After that, he completely created a powerful lightning energy based shield of a circle in order to making sure that a failsafe was highly activated through inside of him, to which it exactly was activated to where Bob Destiny completely killed him and finished him off. News of Ron Orion's death traveled faster like wildfire throughout the entire sacred world and throughout the entire known alien worlds, especially within the clans, especially within the clans of the Warring States period and the other dark magical worlds and universes of witches, druids, warlocks, and all of that. And it even reached the great ears of the original Lord of Magic, to which he also wasn't quite particularly in power at that time, to which he also quietly felt a great respect of the great two legendary founders, Infinita and also Ron Orion as well. To which at that particular time, Ron Orion's body was quietly buried and quietly hidden in a very quiet of a far tomb, so that no witch, druid, or warlord, or Shadow Empire commander, or any sinister force would not exactly benefit from it or try to profit from it in using his powers and his great abilities that he had quietly installed himself, so that they can take it and take full advantage of it in order for them to experiment on trying to harnessing and enhancing their own in order to enhancing and initially enhancing one of their own greater abilities in the process of all. During at that particular time, within that very night when he was quietly buried within the ancient tomb, Ron Orion mysteriously woken up now that he is quietly planted ahead about his death due to the activation of the forbidden technique he used upon himself, making sure that he could not die completely in vain. When one of his hidden shadowy allies appeared from the shadows and able to merge up from the ground, they exactly told him that now is a perfect time to begin the counterfeit of the plan that he wanted to actually utilize as well, to which he relieved a copy and nothing but a fake clone of his body to taking his rightful place and making sure that it would be the one to taking the fall for him, while the real one began orchestrating his plan. Over the following centuries, Ron Orion has made hidden beneath an ancient misty waterfall cave where he summoned a powerful humanoid monster that had completely four arms, that was completely merged and in one. It was completely exactly merged up, literally merged up with the entire wall, with the entire ancient wall, to where Ron was completely able to siphon its powers, where he was able to synchronize himself with these powers long enough to actually remaining highly alive to beginning his sinister plan and his goal at the time, to where his agents and his hidden allies began informing him of everything that has begun happening and also taking a place, to which he began taking a very greater look and keeping tabs on the Orion clan's soon's progress, and also the Eclipse clan's greatest progress, on how to see how the clans are quietly faring up with the great sacred nations rising from power and the original Lord of Magic now gaining control and fully ascending, and that his name has become also greatly feared and also greatly powered, visioned by great power himself as well. The great two legendary founding statues were really quietly founded between the great ancient waterfall itself, to where the middle statue of the great founder and leader known as Bob Destiny was also quietly in the middle of the ancient waterfalls, to where they both symbolize their dreams and their goals and their sole purpose of them, to which I previously taught you on a previous episode on Infinita Eclipse, on the previous episode as well about that, to where they symbolize their respective goals and their mission and their true purpose of that as well. Despite that, Ron Orion exactly told his forces that he will remain within the shadows until he can come up with a better plan and with a better move of it all. The new step of the plan, to which Ron Orion decided it's best to inquire and decided it's best to move forward with as well. At that particular time, one of the other sinister witches appeared from the shadows, telling Ron Orion that they know that he's not actually dead, that he's rather actually alive, and they're very happy to see him alive and well, and they'll make sure that they find the perfect suitable candidate to beginning orchestrating his plan and his move. Ron Orion exactly told the agent that he doesn't need a suitable candidate to beginning taking his rightful place. He needs something or some ancient power to give him more power and more greater ability to beginning his sinister goal and his search activity, to which the witch decided it's best that she will give him something very useful. But until then, he must remain low and he must remain within the shadows until she can come up with a better plan of her own. Over the following centuries, Ron Orion kept in the shadows of his ancient hideout watching and keeping tabs on everything, hearing the news that the Shadow Empire has officially rose into power and ascended into destructive power under the control and leadership of the legendary original Lord of Magic, and that his ancient dark ambition of a machination has already beginning taking control, and already has beginning taking control, and great division among the supernatural races, clans, and aliens, and superhumans, and Phoenician hunters, and all of the other sacred hunters as well in the process. Despite that, he still kept in the shadows, and he still was able to listen as well. Within the earlier centuries, one of his great allies from the shadows exactly revealed themselves and told Ron Orion that now the time for him to act up has come. To which after that he literally discombobulated. He literally completely disconnected himself from the ancient humanoid monsters, ancient humanoid statues, monsters, and leaving nothing but completely anything else, since he's quite the highly regenerated and highly gratefully stable due to remaining completely connected to the humanoid creature for many centuries as well, telling his agent that he's now completely in power and also very much quietly highly in power. Due to the modifications he made to himself, he's highly ready to beginning the full step towards his great plan, and that his agent also told him that the witch dispatched him and told him that the perfect timing for him to act up has now come as well. Over the following centuries, Ron Orion has completely decided to disguise himself as a different individual of a person, wearing a sinister mask of his own, to which the other operatives began exactly helping him and also beginning his goal as he began picking up the pieces of his goals and of his mission, until he discovered a powerful ancient criminal shadowy organization, to where he decided to offer them his services and his great leadership skills and his great battle tactical skills and his great higher great intelligence skills as well, to which the members quietly felt enlightened as they told Ron Orion that they told the actual different person of himself that they actually would rather have his skills if they actually told him his true identity. Ron Orion exactly did his best to reveal his true identity to the members of the organization, to which he actually told them that who he is as well, and he also definitely exactly proved it by demonstrating his dark spiritual energy projectional powers to the members, stating that he still is the same as he was many centuries ago, and that he always has been, and that this time that he's highly evolved and very powerful as well. The great members of the organization decided it's best that to have someone like him within the ranks, because due to his ancient ways and due to his ancient modern persistent and great experience, it might be very useful to have a powerful member like him to their ranks, to which they decided it's best to adding him to their ranks as well. Over the following near to the end of the great centuries, Ron Orion has been working in the shadows of the ancient criminal shadowy organization, orchestrating wars, conflicts, facilitating battle tactics to secretive, greater, powerful, prominent individuals, recruiting deadly, powerful, missing sacred agents, criminals, powerful, deadliest of supernatural criminals, and powerful, unknown criminals and deadly agents and slippery agents within other powerful sacred great nations and within other powerful sacred great nations of the sacred world, making sure that the organization remains in the shadows and making sure that it remains in control, disguising himself as a different individual as time and centuries has passed. He made sure that his identity was never discovered and was never completely known at the time as well. On the particular day of on the actual 14 of March, Ron Orion was quietly completely able to attacking a convoy within the actual near section of the Phoenician Hunter on the Phoenician Hunter rendezvous to where the other Phoenician Hunter great elders and children were trying to actually get the goods out of the way, and he purposely exactly killed and destroyed the remaining members and the leaders that were trying to protect in the convoy at the time, to where he was wearing a very powerful sinister mask as well, to where the great Phoenician hunter child witnessed the killing, and his forbidden power began mysteriously activating at that time as well. On the particular day of the 8th of April, Ron Orion was particularly within the shadows of the trees, within the particular shadows of the ancient trees, to where he heard two Phoenician hunter spies were talking about the death and the demise of the original Lord of Magic, that the universal heroes are now hereby picking up the pieces of the destruction that they caused to the Shadow Empire, to just create nothing but a power vacuum within the Shadow Empire itself, resulting in all out wars and conflict within its own pocket, to where Ron Orion felt that that is the perfect time for him to taking place and effective action as well at that predicament time. On the particular day of the 13th of May, Ron Orion was completely within the battle cruiser, within the actual battle cruiser of the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders, to where there were 5 Shadow Empire warlords and commanders, to where they all convened with the masked stranger who began revealing himself from the shadows of the battle cruiser, giving them great intelligence and missions on how the 4-Nation Hunter Intergalactic Coalition and the mighty universal heroes would fare up with their true missionaries as well. Now that the members of the Order of the Five and the members of the Founders have framed and used the members of the United Heroes to commit greater atrocities, to actually commit greater treacherous atrocities by attacking the intergalactic supreme world, where the universal court and councils of the alien worlds were completely in charge of, due to them being used as great pawns to attracting greater powerful evil alien warlords and commanders to going straightly to humanity to investigate and to study the origin of the superhuman race and to finding out about the other supernatural creatures and other unknown hybrid creatures that are quietly residing within humanity, to which it was all thanks to the Order of the Five and all thanks to the Founders that created the mess that they actually brought in order to furthering their own ultimate objectivities and goals as well in the process, to which Ron Orion exactly explained to the Shadow Empire warlords and commander as a different masked individual with a different identity known as the Unknown Man, to which he was able to telling them that with this information, they can even up the odds quickly and faster, and they must make very quickly with ace to succeed on the sole objectivity of the mission, to where the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders agreed, and that is exactly what they'll do as well. On the actual 12th of May, Ron Orion was completely accepted into the ancient Serri criminal organization, as was quietly partnered up with the other 2 members of the organization itself, to where they all exactly wear powerful black cloaks symbolizing their organization and its great powers, to where they were able to they successfully succeeded in capturing many sinister warlords and wizards and powerful, highly greater beings that possess greater immense power and greater energy, for the monster statue to begin obtaining it and to acquire it as well within that particular time as well. On the actual 17th of June, Ron Orion was quietly present within the assembly, within the great assembly of the sealing of the great sealing of the great sealing of the great fairy witch, to where her powers were being extracted and put inside the monster statue itself as well, to where the leader of the organization began explaining the goals to the newest and oldest members of the group himself, to where they were all presenting themselves in their shadowy astral projection, where the leader began explaining the goals, and Ron Orion remained completely quiet during the entire sealing process of the entire meeting as well. On the particular day of the 11th of July, Ron Orion was completely present during the next assembly, to where all the other members presented themselves in their shadowy astral projection within a different hideout of a cave, to where it actually houses ancient statues of creatures, beings, monsters who are quietly unknown throughout the entire sacred history of the 7 Nation Hunters and of the 6 Nation Hunters and of the 3 Nation Hunters as well, to where he quietly listened throughout the entire meeting, where the leader explained their soldier activities and their goals must now begin bearing fruit as well at that predicament of that time. On the 9th of August, Ron Orion was completely present, where he was able to meet with the leader and with the other member who were the original members, the original members of the organization, and with the others quietly residing within a tower within the great tower of the great formidable nation, planet, world that the leader has ruled with an iron fist, reclaiming himself as a great dark formidable savior godlike being to the entire inhabitants, to where all the inhabitants who actually coexist together were witches, fairies, druids, hunters, great refugee Phoenician hunters who all lived within his entire world of his civilization, to where he conquered and overthrown the most powerful, devastating Phoenician hunter, warlord, and leader who was known to be ruthless and power hungry, willing to get everything to obtain power, to making sure that his power never felt threatened at all, to where he killed him within the middle century and took over that entire world and that entire nation all by himself, with the work of the other members assisting him as well. Despite that, he was able to meet up with the leader and with the other original members, and he was able to tell them that he's proud how far the organization has come to its greatest needs, but they must never underestimate the universal heroes, and they must never undermine them, since they are too deadly and too dangerous, since the other organizations, such as the Court of Nature, which is the powerful secret society of supervillains, and the great order of secrets, and the great order of secrets, and the order of the five, and the founders, and the sacred five, and the galactic, have been nothing but complaining about their radical plans being foiled every time since they've tried to make sure their goals successfully bear fruit. And it would be wise not for them to be repeating the same mistake as the others exactly did, taking the threat solely highly likely. The leader explained to his long lasting term friends that they do have a shared interest, and that they know that universal man's they know that the new universal man's power is great, definitely is needed for the monster statue to acquire it and to absorb it, to which is why they must exactly find a way to acquire it, and they must find a very faster way to speed up the process. Otherwise, the creature itself will not be able to controlling the remaining powers that it was able to gather and also to absorbing as well. The masked man known as Ron Orion agreed to his great enlightening colleagues that despite the power of the great power of the origin, the great power of the soul surviving origin, alien savior hero is definitely what the creature needs, and that they must find a way to obtaining it. But in doing so, obtaining it will also draw powerful attention and attract attention to the organization, such as the great Phoenician hunters of the Intergalactic Coalition and of the allies of the Universal Heroes, to which it will become a huge problem, which is why they must exactly find a way to buy their time. But they must not underestimate Universal Man. He's too deadly and too powerful. He's just like his mother and like his father, who were the previous Universal Man and woman. That makes him a deadly threat, despite him being the founding leader of the Universal Heroes and the rest of his teammates. And his allies and themselves are too deadly. Do not underestimate them, and do not especially underestimate their abilities and their powers. They've proven to literally overcome the worst threats and the worst situation and the worst obstacles they've actually fought during the entire early years altogether. And that makes them all deadly and very powerful. They did not quite understood the circumstances and the worrying of what Ron Orion was completely stating about that as well. On the 17th of September, Ron Orion decided it's best to reveal himself as was meeting up with the other member of the organization within the organization's hideouts, to where he decided to tell the other member that he felt quietly bad not revealing his true self and not exactly revealing himself quietly sooner, but despite that he had to take drastic measures in turn to protecting himself and making sure that his name was never known and never revealed. Of course, since his name quietly also means destructive, full force of dark powers and possessing greater dark unknown abilities as well, to where the great member began to exactly understood that, but he quietly felt better to know that he was the one controlling everything and was the one quietly in power of everything as well. Ron Orion decided it's best to reveal himself as he removed the mask and told the great oldest member and colleague of the organization that he would actually trust him now, and that since he's also the closest to him, and that the both of them need to work together since they are both in this together no matter what. That both of them exactly agreed, and that is exactly what they'll do as well. On the particular day of the 10th of October, Ron Orion was quietly part of the next sealing ritual with the other members, to where they all exactly presented themselves in the shadowy astral projection, as the the other remaining members continue on their mission, while the others project as the other ones continued sealing the great power of the forbidden warlord inside the monster statue, inside a powerful different hideout which actually houses underground cities. It houses actually underground cities and villages within the darkest of the cave, which is quietly beneath the entire city structure itself, where the monster statue was completely summoned, where they are completely able to focusing it. The other member exactly contemplated that the sealing ritual is taking more time because there are less members and more of them that are completely scattered, still completing the assault activity as well. One exactly decided to maintain quiet and focusing his energy and his true power inside sealing the warlord's destructive power and abilities inside the monster statue as well. On the actual day of the 7th of September, Ron Orion exactly decided it's best that he must now begin a new mission and a new glory mission of his own, to which will silently prove his objective in a very faster way. He actually reconvened with the Red Empire warlords, Shadow Empire warlords, the great sinister druids, witches, and faithful on a different dark mystical cave, to it houses a forbidden statue of a great powerful ancient hybrid of a great powerful hybrid of a creature that exactly entails a story of how their powers became to be in a different way. I said the word hybrid as in hybrid, meaning, in other words, he houses all the genetic DNAs and bloodlines of all the other creatures, Four-Nation hunters, witches, druids, faithful, and warlocks, and sinister vampires and werewolves, and all of that. He is the next progenitor and the powerful one of all. His story and his history was erased, and for a very powerful, sinister reason, but the great children of destiny who did it for a very unknown reason, but they do exactly have a reason, which we'll get to that one day or another. On that very particular ancient dark mystical cave, Ron exactly began to explain to his greatest associate and operatives that he might actually need them to create an organization of great formidable assassins, where the other one began telling him that there is a powerful sinister organization known as the power of forbidden, known as the power of great knowledge, to where it only has one goal and one sole activity, to beginning the extortionary change, requiring money, using that money to create chaos, terror, fear, and destruction upon humanity. This organization is a shadowy and very ancient, quietly closely related to the Wild Archers and related to the Order of Darkness itself. That it possesses is different, and it completely houses its different ideals as well. In that similarity, to where Ron Orion began to agree that if this organization, known as a power of great knowledge, is the key in order for them to work together, then that is exactly what they'll do. But he told the operatives that it's time for them to begin working on their soldier activity. On the precise day of the 4th of December, the mighty dark druid, witch, faithful, began a sinister experiment as the masked individual began watching in from behind the shadows, where they literally activated a dark crystal in order to decimate and destroy an entire beautiful civilization of alien worlds and alien planets as well, in the process, to where the mighty universal founders and the mighty members of the Intergalactic Coalition and Universal Magical began intervening and stopping the dark magic users from destroying the entire planet, where they destroyed the entire dark crystal and the worst of the entire operation. The leader of the Universal Founders began sensing a powerful odd energy as he clashed with the masked man who was quietly hiding within the shadows. As he fought with him, realizing that his techniques are highly advanced and very quietly good, despite him being so slippery and so slippery, as Ron Orion decided it's best to change his personality, and initially trying to changing his persona, not for his true identity to be exposed or any of that. He disappeared within the shadows and left after that. On the particular day of the 13th of January, Ron Orion was quietly present, where all the other members reassembled together in the shadowy astral projecting form of the ancient cave, where they all spoke about their plans and about their details, and also furthering their new activity as well. On the actual 9th of February, Ron Orion was quietly able to meet up with the legendary next leader and founder, who was a shadowy figure of the great clan known as Sun Tzu, and he was actually able to telling him that he is very quietly pleased of his legacy, that it's still able to remain alive. Sun Tzu's base and central headquarters or base of operation was within the mountains itself, was within the actual mountains itself, to where Sun Tzu exactly told Ron Orion that he will give him the resources he needs and everything else, to where his base of operation was quietly inside of an ancient waterfall cave where it houses nothing but monstrous beings and creatures of statues within its own image as well, to which they are unknown to 4-Nation Hunter history, to where Sun Tzu exactly told Ron Orion that he will indeed definitely supply him with all the techniques and abilities he needs as well. On the great 13th of March, Ron Orion was able to meet up with the 4-Nation Hunter allies and associates within the shadowy caves, to where he was actually able to telling them that they need to proceed quickly with their plans. The situation is quietly escalating quietly faster and very dangerously, and that they must focus with the new objectivity of the goal and of its true mission, to where they all precisely agree with Ron Orion, and that is exactly what they'll do as well. On the actual day of the 8th of April, Ron Orion was completely able to meet up with the sinister creature on the great ancient bridge of the waterfall, to which houses another different base of their headquarters. Were telling them that it was quite a lot easier for Lord Jet, the new Lord of Magic, to take the mantle and legacy of the original Lord of Magic's goals, to where they both exactly contemplated that Jet is quite more powerful enough and very highly responsible enough to take care of the responsibility that comes with the legacy and with embodying his goal of his master and of his mission, to which let's exactly hope that he will complete it in time, that he and the rest of his enlightened colleagues will complete it in time and faster than anything else, to where the both of them agree that thanks to them that they have what they've been seeking all these centuries and all these years, the great glory that they've been willing to obtain and to acquire, that without them they could never complete what they needed to do as well. On the actual day of the 27th of May, Ron Orion was quietly seen busy with the next sealing ritual, where the other members all began to assembling to sealing the great power of the death fairy inside the monster statue, to where they all exactly present themselves in a shadowy holographic astral projection form, to where they all exactly still continue to doing that as well on that particular day. On the 10th of June, Ron Orion completely met up with the great Shadow Empire warlords and commanders on an ancient temple, to where they all precisely spoke about the planning and details of the orchestration, and he exactly told them that it's time for them to move forward and begin activating the last phase, and the way they all agreed, and that is exactly what to do. Before they all exactly disposed themselves, he told them about the lost information, and they must use it wisely and very, very quietly, gratefully as well, to where they all precisely agreed with that as well. On the 17th of July, Ron Orion completely reconvened with the members of the founders on an ancient dark crystal temple, which was quietly on a different world of a planet ruled by great equal monarchies and leaders of warlords, queens, commanders who quietly didn't know exactly how to take the responsibility or the mantle, due to the current state of the world and planet being ravaged by wars and battles, and chaos has been inflicted, and all kingdoms have been quietly in wars and ravaged completely, totally out of chaos and all of that, to which the great equality powers was split on fair points for everyone else to naming themselves leaders. Either way, it worked for the so-called powerful villains for them to begin meeting and begin to reconvening on that different location, to where the members of the founders began thanking Ron Orion for the great information, for the great set of information, to where he was able to provide them, and they completely thanked him. And the mighty Dark Grey thanked Ron Orion by becoming a great long-time collaborator and a great sacred friend, to where as a masked individual he revealed himself within the shadows of the temple and thanked the members of the founders for them remaining as his greatest associates and as his greatest longtime colleagues as well. On the 20th of August, Ron Orion completely met up with the Iron Mask Man on the different shadowy cave, in a different shadowy cave to where it houses ancient mythical snake statues of a powerful mythical snake man and a powerful snake witch, and also of a powerful snake hunter and of a druid of a snake as well, to where those statues were quietly standing on the entrance, to where they actually standing on the entrance of the cave itself, to where he met up with the Iron Mask Man and told him that he's very grateful for his great services and very definitely highly grateful for his great work and truly solely appreciated for his great work and for his great mission as well, that their plans may now begin to solidify. As the Mask Iron Man told Ron Orion that he is the one who should be grateful to him, that they are both of them are the bridge between the two respective organizations, and that the threat of the universal heroes must not be undermined, to where he precisely agreed, and that they managed to find common ground with the shadowy elite criminal organization known as the Power of Knowledge. They have agreed to work on their behalf in order to furthering its goals. That was all what the Iron Mask Man needed to as well. On the 15th of September, Infinita completely entered the misty cave to where Ron Orion was completely sitting down within the ancient chair and exactly told his old lover that the planning and details have actually begun bearing fruit and that the solidification has already been made and all is ready to proceed on according to plan the way it's intended to be as well, to where Ron Orion completely deconnected himself from the ancient humanoid monster statue that was completely exactly one with the wall, and he exactly told Infinita that their love together is still standing strong and that their power is very quietly unique as well, the way it is. And due to the fact Infinita was able to reveal herself from the shadows and her face, and also Ron Orion was able to reveal himself with these masks, telling Infinita that the both of them are still powerful and that they are able to hold their hands together, revealing a powerful steel chains coming out from their bodies, trying to absorb and extract as much power from the ancient humanoid monster statue that was quietly one with the ancient walls of the hideout, to where Ron Orion was completely actually hiding from as well. On the particular day of the actual 25 of October, the great masked man known as Ron Orion was completely exactly sitting on his very statue until the creature that quietly emerged up from the ground told him that he very quietly loves and remarked of their love, that her and Infinita are still able to rebound and remake their love so powerful and so difficult and so powerful and so quietly inspirational that it resembles Amber and Laurel's love as well, the way it is and the way it's quietly meant to be. The great Ron Orion told the creature that it's because that through that love that the both of them are able to find common ground and common interest as well, to which the creature quietly relishes in that same way. On the actual 19th of November, Ron Orion was quietly within the actual hideouts of the organization, to where he watched another ancient humanoid creature monster statue residing on the top of the ancient flowery, realizing that he possesses more power, as one of his shadowy allies appeared and told him that they're ready to proceed on with the next activity, to where Ron Orion told him that he must first seize more power to what's to come. Despite this, Ron Orion is very powerful, very deadly, and very feared by his very name. He is the great founding legendary leader of the Orion clan and very highly mysterious, skillful with the power of wielding weapons, wielding great weaponry such as great formidable swords and different types of weapons which he can wield with his very hand, possesses the power of spiritual energy, the power of hypnosis, mind control, psychic communication, telepathic communication, the power of convergence, and the power of summoning, and the power of teleportation, disappearing, reappearing at will, and also with the great power of projecting his shadowy astral projection as well, which he can exactly do. He possesses greater formidable powers and greater forbidden mysterious techniques. Due to that, the members of the Orion clan respected Ron Orion due to his reputation as well, and due to his great reputation of him respecting power and learning to actually utilizing it very well and very wisely. He's very, very merciless and very cruel and very, very quietly, highly compassionate to his goal. He does have a dark ambition and a powerful long-term goal and a mission that exactly he wanted to complete it by joining a shadowy criminal organization in order for it to aiding it with its sole objectivity of the goals, since it purposely aligns with these goals as well. He's very optimistic, very powerfully manipulative, very powerfully dark, sinister, and also scary at will. Very good in utilizing the powers of nature energy, and the power of creating all, and the power of shadow creation and of light creation, manipulating fire powers and of lightning-based powers and of great water-based powers and of greater power of shadow and duplication, which you can exactly do with the base powers of wood, dust, and the base powers of projecting a powerful creature, and with the base powers of summoning gigantic forces of monsters and dragons, to which he can exactly do. His name itself represents destruction and all death that comes with it, due to the fact that the 4 Nation Hunters were able to respecting and acknowledging that Ron Orion is also the opposite and the high ranking closest to Infinita, who's also powerful enough to go toe to toe with the original Lord of Magic, to which the two of them had no common interest in fighting him or either stopping his goals from bearing fruit, regardless of that the original Lord of Magic respected the 2-3 legendary founders of their respective clans and gave them the recognition that they actually deserved by supplying them with sinister resources, as to what he did many centuries ago during the ancient times of the Warring States periods, to where before he rose into power, to where the other legendary 2 leaders, they know that when he rises to power, everything else will become under total chaos and destruction. Without them able to maintaining that chaos, he's about to invoke and about to create with his very name that speaks a bit of his true darkest name, the original Lord of Magic, to where it sounds fear and it spikes destruction and utter darkness and utter damnation on his own, due to the fact he's willing to annihilate the threats of the sacred universe known as the supernaturals, aliens, superhumans, 4 Nation Hunters, and all of the other allies who he sees threatening the sacred balance, to where they were able to respecting that dream and that obligation that the original Lord of Magic made to himself as well. Ron Orion is very highly optimistic, very good, and very loving. Personality, he's very loving, competitive, loves to battle, loves to honor his opponents, and loves to show good respect of them, and he truly always plans many steps ahead, preparing for fail-safes, many things, and using and utilizing forbidden techniques, powers, weapons at his disposal, due to his experience and due to him studying harder and learning harder and adapting quickly with ace and evolving slowly, very much quickly, and very much quietly, highly destructive. He possesses destructive, brutal force of power, to which any member of the Orion clan of the other descendants can also possess. The Orion clan's name and image is quietly feared due to their powers and due to their great destructive force, related closely to the Eclipse clan, and also related closely to the Destiny, to the clan of Destiny, and also closely to the 4 Nation Hunters, founders and leaders, and to the children of Destiny themselves as well, and also to their great progenitors, and to the great sacred progenitors of their own children as well. They are very powerful and are very deadly and are very highly not meant to be feared. Out of all the other members of the clans, Ron Orion is the exception out of all of them. His siblings are also the closest to him in power as well. He's very carefully clever, 12th levelly intellect, highly good in orchestrating events, wars, battles, manipulation, many event and prominent individual throughout the entire 4 Nation Hunter Wars in order for them to help him gain his true objectivity of his goal, to which he's trying to achieve by all else means necessary. Intelligence. He's very good in forming powerful, formidable, and very quietly good forming formidable, powerful, supernatural, very quietly good in forming formidable alliances with one of the most dangerous supernatural criminals, such as the members of the shadowy criminal elite organization. He was even so good in persuading another shadowy elite criminal organization known as the Power of Knowledge in order for it to working on the behalf of this criminal organization. since he's a high-ranking member of that criminal organization, in order for it to aiding its huge activities and its goals, since they are the masters of that organization, and that this organization and the other member of the organization is quietly the head and the leader and the founder of that organization. They thought it's best for this organization to work closely for them as well as in the behalf for them in order for it to aiding its destructive goals and its destructive mission. Very good in maintaining his individual bases as his hideouts, such as caves, cities, underground cities, many ancient temples, central headquarters, which is a different powerful mystic cave to where he has all the resources, weaponry, clothing, clothes, mask, many things and weapons he's been collecting during the following stages of the centuries of war periods, to where he was able to find the suitable ways. Body modifications. He can easily adapt his body to evolve and highly grow stronger due to him adding something within his body and highly experimenting on it. But he actually experiments on his body on a different base other than the other force of evil who experiments with shadow energy. He knows that shadow energy is the ultimate downfall for everyone else, and he does not touch it or ever experiment with it, or either with wild energy. He never experiments with shadow energy or either with wild energy. He knows very well due to the experience that shadow energy will definitely kill you, but not in a faster way, in a slower rate way, due to the cells actually deteriorating slowly and quicker. But shadow energy does grant you greater immortality, long gravity, super speed, super intelligence, and greater, faster thinking as well. But he knows it can actually give you that. But the price to it, it's too much and it's too painful for him to actually bear, to where that is where his knowledge and his perception actually lies as well. 12ly clever, highly resourceful, highly influential, very good and very wise to making powerful, dangerous allies such as druids, witches, faithful, wizards, warlocks, Shadow Empire warlords and commanders, helping them in return for them to help him furthering his goals and his plans. He respects the original members of the shadowy organization that he's quietly in, and he respects the newest members, and he quietly shows a bit of kindness to all the other members, him acting up as an idiot, but due to the different idiotic personality that he was able to precisely exactly act upon, he was able to gather quick intelligence on the universal heroes and on the leader of the universal heroes and the abilities, learning that to the other members they must not repeat their failings like the other organizations have, such as the founders and the Order of the Five. He's very close with the founders, literally close with the ancient criminal organization and the ancient secret society of supervillains known as the founders, to where he shares their common interests and their common goals. He is the one that's been giving them information within the shadows for many centuries and for many years, helping them achieving their respective goals and mission. And he's been very loyal to them, acting as a sacred collaborator, and also close with the other Iron Mask individual, who was also the sacred collaborator of the ancient criminal organization that is completely, literally, socially affiliated with as well, to which the both of them share a common goal and a common interest. Within the organization, was able to come clean to one of the other members, telling him that he made a big mistake not revealing himself sooner, since he's the one who personally recruited him into the organization and into the group, telling him that he made a big mistake and not trusting him his full identity. But he did exactly tell him that he had his reasons in order to keep himself hidden from the shadows, to making sure that the universal heroes or any of their allies would not suspect that Ron O'Ryan is still highly actively alive after all these centuries, especially now that the child of prophecy known as the chosen one, as Grayson Ferris, who is the new Universal Man, has proven to be more powerful, and he agreed with all the other members that Grayson Ferris does possess the great powers that the monster statue needs in order for it to literally subtract, in order for it to literally absorb in it completely, and granting itself the full power it needs to begin activating the most deadliest techniques that they will utilize to stopping and quelling wars in the process, for them to conquering and ruling at that best in a faster rate. Ron O'Ryan loves power. He loves power and he respects it. Like Infinita, they both love the dark power. They both exactly imbue and also quietly actually endure. They respect it and they know how to use it well and very wisely. Due to their great perception of intelligence and great reluctance of information, they know how to utilize power very wisely, and they possess infinite amounts of it very wisely, very quietly good in speaking many different ancient languages at the same time, highly resourceful, skillful enough to read ancient texts and ancient paintings of their former ancestors and of their former bearers as well, able to translate it through their perception, through their great vision, perception of their powers, and understanding it very quickly as well. Greater in understanding the vampire ancient language with the warlords and druid language, able to exactly explaining it to his allies and to his associates as well, making sure that they are operatives and sleeper agents plied and impaled within human society and within sacred society, so that those agents, when they are ready to be activated, those criminals will be becoming one of those operatives willing to working forward in hand with the organization to furthering its goals and its ultimate plans in the process. Very kind, but still highly ruthless and merciless in the original process, due to him able to gaining true understanding of sacred realities, wars, and conflict. He did show great dramatic respect after the great death of the original Lord of Magic, and quietly felt in pain and quietly saddened by his death after he heard the news as well. But he decided to honor him by completing his goal and his ancient imagination, to which he definitely shared a common interest to. Regardless of that, he's highly resourceful, very strict, and very merciless. His hidden allies and his minions are very quietly good to maintaining in the shadows, to where he tells them when the time is right for them to reveal themselves, they will reveal themselves. As I said before, he's mysterious. He possesses forbidden techniques, powers, and abilities to where are very much unknown. Unlike all the other members of the Ryan clan, he is the objection and the Omega founder and legendary leader of the clan itself. His name speaks power and devastating destruction upon it. Literally, he is very useful and very resourceful, but thoughtfully, cleverly intellected, very wise on knowing and utilizing the intergalactic alien powers for himself and for the rest of his associates, and very good in prompting and in gunning sinister, powerful alien warlords to go to planet Earth and to begin an all-out war with the United Heroes, so that humanity will be caught in an unknown fictional conflict between two unknown sinister universes and worlds that are completely at war with each other, which will actually draw away the Shadow Empire to focusing in its true direction and attention to humanity, for them to know what's happening within humanity's walls and within their own people who are living and residing within humanity as well. He's very good and very highly technical, super strategist, tactician, wise in swordsmanship, wise in revival, resurrection, very good with all those powers, and very good with manipulating powerful infinite matter and energy at will, and highly good in keeping himself alive. He possesses tremendous life force and the power of healing, rejuvenational healing, and the power of psychic communication, levitation, and also the power of possessing great infinite knowledge and great infinite intelligence. Managed to training his apprentices and his protégés within the shadows, and he also founded another member of another sinister clan known as Sansu, who was able to teaching him and guiding him the proper ways of utilizing his knowledge and his greater expertise as well. Very loyal, highly resourceful, respects the members of the sinister shadowy organization, to which I'll tell you about it on a different day and also on a different time, which you will know about it sooner when I actually give it a proper name it deserves. But I'll tell you about it one way or another. Either way, he's very powerful and very sinister, ancient, very powerful, learns from his feelings and tell the other members not to repeat the same feelings as his other sinister associates and colleagues were able to do in undermining the threat they are completely fighting up against, known as the Universal Heroes, and knowing how powerful they can be with their allies of the four nationalities of the Intergalactic Coalition and the members of the United Heroes. He decided it's best not to make sure they repeat their failings. He does share a close personal relationship with Black Mask and with Ghost Master, to where he was able to give Ghost Master information and Black Mask information on how he can become in power, also in control of his own territories and over his own criminal reputation. It is thanks to him that they still are actually resourceful and highly connected as well, due to the beneficiary. He's immensely immortal, possesses long gravity. Due to that long gravity, he thinks that he's destined to become the sole superior ruling leader of the entire sacred universe, to where the Ryan clan will become its sole rulers as well, and to where he will soon fulfill that activity by any means necessary. Good with powerful allies and good with greater minions and pawns who work in the shadows for him and who has been keeping in the shadows for many years, proving that he's very toughly level intellect and highly resourceful and very good in maintaining his full secret identity. Well, that's it for today's episode, guys. I don't want to waste any more time. I have to upload this video and I have to upload it quickly and faster anyway. And I have to also write about the other old characters in my other old book. So I have to get to it right away since time is quietly running out. Either way, guys, enjoy your day and have a blessed, great day. Tomorrow on Friday, I'll shoot my last video and episode, to which I'll able to upload it on YouTube on Monday morning when I wake up. Then you guys will receive the TikTok and the shorts today and the long video today. Appreciate your support, guys. Please continue to stay on my journey with me. Would mean a lot. Like and subscribe to Billy Y'all's channel in YouTube and also in TikTok as well. Would love that and also would appreciate that. Stay safe and stay happy and love you. Today's episode is Ron Orion, and who's a founder and a leader of the Orion clan. That's definitely today's episode. So take care and see you tomorrow. Bye.